Okay, so what actually happens when AI steps out of the chatbot window and literally enters the real physical world? I mean, for the last couple of years, we've all been completely captivated by AI that can, write essays, generate crazy images, or even code software. But the frontier's shifting. The screen, that was just the beginning. Today, we're looking at the massive infrastructure being built right now to give AI an actual physical presence in our factories, on our roads, and frankly, in our daily lives. Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're breaking down a truly monumental leap in computing, NVIDIA's massive shift from generative AI software to autonomous physical systems. We are talking about a full-on paradigm shift here, one where AI doesn't just process text, but inherently understands physics, plans complex actions, and actually operates physical machinery safely. It's a fascinating evolution, and the slide deck we're going through today is going to map out exactly how this whole transformation is going down. Okay, let's dive into this. Here is our roadmap for today. We'll start with Beyond the Chatbot, explore the rise of agentic AI, and then map out entering the physical world. After that, we'll tackle safety and autonomous robotics before wrapping up with the next industrial revolution. All right, Section 1, Beyond the Chatbot, the hardware foundation. 81%. Now, to really understand where AI is heading, we first have to look at the engine powering the whole thing. While consumers mostly just see chat interfaces and text boxes, the real story is happening behind the scenes in the data center. Right now, AI is kind of trapped by its digital boundaries. It's incredibly smart, sure, but it can't physically do anything. And to break out of those boundaries, you need an absolutely unparalleled amount of compute power. This 81% isn't just some market share for a niche gadget. This is literally the backbone of global high-performance computing. To put that into perspective, NVIDIA technologies currently power over 400 of the world's 500 fastest supercomputers. Yeah, 81% of the elite top 500 list runs on their hardware. And why this matters is pretty simple. Before you can just drop a brain into a robot, you need a massive established hardware footprint to actually train that brain. NVIDIA's sheer dominance here provides the critical setup required to simulate reality at a massive scale. You literally cannot leap into physical AI without this raw underlying power. Moving on to Section 2, the rise of agentic AI. From prompts to action. So the crucial point is, we have the hardware, but simple pattern recognition just isn't going to cut it if you want to run a factory or safely drive a car. The software layer has to evolve from just answering our prompts to actually taking action. And that brings us to agentic AI. Unlike traditional models that just give you an answer and then stop, agentic AI involves agents designed to reason, plan, and act autonomously over long stretches of time. Think of NVIDIA's Nematron Foundation models as kind of a brain that can take a complex, multi-step goal, figure out the exact sequence of actions needed, and then execute them without a human holding its hand at every single step. It is the crucial bridge between thinking and actually doing. Let's look at how this plays out in the real world with the NVIDIA Factory Operations Blueprint, or FOX. This is a perfect case study. Instead of having humans micromanaging the software, FOX uses centralized factory manager agents. These agents autonomously orchestrate entire fleets of industrial machines. They basically optimize how different AI agents work together on a busy factory floor. So it's not just one smart robot wandering around, it's an entire hive mind of autonomous agents reasoning and planning together to run the whole shebang. Which leads us to Section 3, entering the physical world, the Cosmos 3 Omni model. And this brilliantly illustrates the massive leap we're taking. Standard AI, the stuff we use every day, generates text, recognizes patterns, and spits out responses one token at a time. But physical AI, specifically NVIDIA's new Cosmos 3 Omni model, it's a completely different beast. It doesn't just guess the next word in a sentence. Cosmos 3 is purpose-built for reasoning, simulation, and action generation. And the real game changer here is that it actually embeds the laws of physics, chemistry, and engineering right into its world model. It intuitively understands things like gravity, momentum, and spatial awareness, which, as you can imagine, is absolutely vital if a robot is going to interact with the physical world without crashing into things or breaking stuff. Next up, Section 4, Safety and Autonomous Robotics, the Halos architecture. Now, you might be wondering about the risks. Look, if a chatbot hallucinates a bad essay, you might get a bad grade. But if an AI hallucinates while driving a 2-ton car or operating heavy factory machinery, the consequences are obviously severe. So, to solve this very practical challenge, NVIDIA developed the Halos architecture. It's a full-stack safety system designed specifically for physical AI. Here's how it works. First, it handles massive safety protocol processing up in the cloud. Then, it uses state-of-the-art transfer to push that real-time reasoning directly into edge devices. This ultimately allows for the safe deployment of these models in the real world. Whether it's the NVIDIA Drive AV software powering a Mercedes-Benz robotaxi or an industrial humanoid navigating a clouded warehouse, the Halo's architecture is the fundamental guardrail. It ensures these physical actions stay strictly within the bounds of safety. Finally, Section 5, the next industrial revolution. AI as infrastructure. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how it brings it all together. When you merge that supercomputing hardware, the agentic reasoning software, the physics-based models, and those strict safety architectures, you aren't just creating a cool new tech gadget. You are laying the groundwork for a massive global shift. In their corporate outlook, NVIDIA actually refers to AI as a 5-layer cake. They explain that it isn't just some clever app or a single neat model. It is essential infrastructure, like electricity. And that perfectly summarizes the paradigm shift we've been mapping out today. AI is transforming from a digital tool sitting on your laptop into the invisible utility powering the physical world. Just as factories were electrified a century ago, they are now being cognitively powered. So I want to leave you with this final provocative thought. As AI literally becomes our new electricity, as it steps completely off of our screens and into our robots, our cars, and our cities, what will it power next in your physical world? We are watching the foundations of tomorrow being built right in front of us. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer. Keep learning, keep questioning, and I'll catch you next time.